Hey guys, so this is the third video that I've made in this series. Today we're going to be going over the Squad Arena and the Galactic War. So in terms of the Squad Arena, it's basically you against a set team of another player, and you obviously battle them, and if you win, you replace their rank. So you basically flip ranks. Um, you get 5 battles a day, and the rewards obviously get better the higher or the lower you rank. It's tricky. The rewards just consist of arena tokens and crystals. So yeah, in terms of specifics, around the rank 400, like the ranks 400 and above, um, usually people don't necessarily have a team composition in which the characters uh, help each other. That's very poorly worded. Um, what I mean by that is there are certain team comps that work well. I'm gonna see if there's one right here. For example, this one right here, the one on the right. Uh, I know that Qui-Gon's leader ability gives Jedi's a bonus. I think it's 15%. Don't quote me on it though. In speed. So he has a composition of 5 Jedi's. So obviously he's gonna his turn meter is gonna be a lot faster than mine, and he's gonna be able to get more attacks off. So this might not be an issue in the lower ranks, mainly because people just try to put together a team randomly, and they just put their best players and just they just go at it. But once you start getting into the higher ranks, the team composition really comes into play. So you have to know your team, against what characters your team goes well against, and against what team characters your characters just really struggle against. For example, his team in particular is all Jedi's. So if I had a team that was anti-Jedi, for example, Darth Maul, Cad Bane, Darth Sidious, and Count Dooku, I think that was 4. I can't think of a fifth right now. But if you had that team comp, then that specific team comp would be very strong against this particular person's. Um, there are certain characters you do see a lot in the higher tiers, mainly just because those characters are actually good, and they, yeah, that's just how it is. Um, the way the AI works, though, in this battle, um, it's really random. They don't really focus too well. The way the AI usually uses the second ability and the third ability. What I mean by that is, let's take Darth Sidious for an example. He usually always starts the battle using his demoralizing blow. And I'm going to upgrade this while I'm at it. He usually starts with that ability, mainly because it's supposed to be quote-unquote stronger than his just basic attack. So that's the way the AI works. It always uses the second and the third abilities first before using the basic attacks. So take that into consideration. Technically, the user is actually at an advantage because you can actually focus. What I mean by focus is have all 5 of your team members focus on one enemy, because the faster you can make the entire battle a 4 versus 5, then the quicker the advantage is going to be in your hands. So you're going to want to focus mainly the person that has the least amount of health, but sometimes that can be deceiving. In the case of maybe a low-level Chewbacca, because Chewbacca can regenerate health. But yeah, so tips for battling: you definitely want to focus just one person and keep that focus throughout the entire battle. Don't try to hit like multiple people at once and things of that sort. Pay attention to the leader ability. The leader ability is very key um, to these battles, and specifically the team comp. If you are in the higher ranks, you definitely want to pay attention to the team comps because that's usually what players use. All right, so let's go to Galactic War. Galactic War is a series of battles, 12 to be exact. The catch in this game mode is that your characters do not regenerate health. So if you play a battle in whatever health conditions they were left at and with whatever cooldowns they were left at, that's how they start the next battle. So that's one of the toughest things about this mode. But this game mode in particular yields the most rewards if you can beat it. I think I've gone through it. I want to say definitely more than 10 times. But I usually don't play it a lot just because it's really time consuming. It takes me about 40 minutes to get through the entire thing. Yeah, so the gist is the fact that your characters can regenerate health. Obviously, the characters you're going to want in here are mainly going to be healers. So I usually use Luminara and a Jedi Consular. Other characters that would be good here would be Old Daka, especially with that reviving power that she has. And I think there's another one. Barris. Barris is a good one. So you want to have a lot of healers on your team. That way you can recuperate after every battle. Chewbacca is always nice, mainly because he can taunt and take the majority of the damage and then heal it back himself. So yeah, this game mode is definitely about healers. If you want to get through it, you gotta have a lot of healers on your team. If you do get through it, I think you get about 500,000 credits, give or take, and you do get 1,200 of these war tokens if you make it all the way through, which is quite a lot, especially when you go to the shop. There's different strategies to approach all these battles. There's a method called fodder. It's basically when you stick in a team of all level 1s. It doesn't necessarily have to be level 1s, it's just really low level characters that in theory will not actually do any damage to the opposing team. What this does is, once again, going back to the way the AI fights, they're going to use their more powerful abilities first. So going back again to Darth Sidious, the enemy Darth Sidious will most likely use Demoralizing Blow. So by doing that, if you stick in a bunch of lower level characters, obviously they'll probably be killed almost instantly. But that means that your main team will not absorb all that damage, if that makes sense. So it's a good way to just blow the cooldowns of the enemy without your A team taking all the damage. So that's one tactic. Obviously, another tactic is having a crap ton of healers, because that always helps. Another thing that not a lot of people know is if you start a battle, you can always restart. For example, I'll just start a quick battle. If you start a battle, you can leave the battle if you lose a character. So losing a character means you can't use it for the duration of the encounter, or the duration of the entire I guess Galactic War would be a good term. So, I mean, in this case, I mean, I'm not gonna actually lose a character, but if I were to retreat, I could retreat, no penalty. I don't get the progress of that battle, but then again, I don't also lose that character. So maybe you find yourself having a particular character who is weak against the particular enemy team composition. You can sub him out with a different character just for the time being. That way he doesn't get eliminated. And then once you pass that certain leg, then you can add him back in later. So it's a pretty good strategy. But that usually happens once you have an A team and a B team per se. So once the depth chart on your characters is um, it's a little bit bigger, mainly because at the beginning you're focusing on getting that squad of 5 characters that you really want to use for all the battles. But once you start getting more characters that are good, you can start interchanging them, and that's really useful in the Galactic War. So I hope that